Issue 144. Already in the 25 years later story, we start off with Knuckles deciding to make Lara the next Guardian, and he tells his excited daughter that she won't start until the next mission will be done. And in the event he doesn't make it back, Julie knows who to contact to begin her training. Julie refuses to let her daughter come with him because it would be dangerous. By the way, I guess Julie removed her cybernetic dreadlock or made it organic hair or something by this point to try to look nicer or be more accepted in society. I mean, that was a pretty unique part of her design. Anyways, Knuckles makes her not mad anymore, surprisingly easily just by saying that he loves his family, and Sally makes a request to make sure Sonic would come back to her. Knuckles for some reason says that's against his better judgment, and yet still agrees. With Lara not there because she's upset that she's not allowed to go with them, Knuckles goes to meet up with Rotor with the storm being much worse. Knuckles realizes their airship is flying over the Badlands, and is told that where else would one store the most deadly devices than the most toxic, uninhabited wasteland on all Mobius, which hasn't been cleaned up yet with Chaos Emeralds or otherwise in 25 years for some reason. They all go out in hazmat suits, go underground down a ladder, and it's revealed that Robotnik built this place as a backup shelter from any enemy or weapon. Sonic asks why Eggman never used the weapon here if it was so powerful, and is told that Sonic foiled his plan before he could. Oh wait, it was Knuckles who asked that question. It was hard to tell because the text box was pointing slightly down at Sonic, and normally it's Sonic who calls Eggman by the nicknames. Sonic insists on going back in time, being a hero, even though it's never been tested, which makes sense of his personality. And Lara predictably stowed herself away to come join them. Unfortunately, she then panics at realizing that she's vanishing, and this is never explained. Rotor says that the A circuit of this device is cross-circuiting to B before the process would be complete, and Sonic is said to be gone, which is also not explained. Lara's vanishing would make sense if they changed the future so that she'd never be born, but Sonic hasn't even gone back to do anything like that yet. So how does that make sense? The reason this ending really annoys me is because I've read ahead to, like, almost issue 160, and I still don't know the conclusion to this arc. So basically, they ended on a huge cliffhanger that never gets resolved. We never find out what happened to Lara, and we never find out what happened to Sonic. I can only generously assume that the two went back in time and did time travel adventures together, but why would Lara vanish when she was nowhere near the time machine? It's stupid! God, that's disappointing. Did they cancel the arc just to spite him? Meanwhile, back in time, we see Knothole newspapers sell like hotcakes because of the Love and Lost column that is very popular with the women. It turns out that it was probably Bunny who wrote the letter about Missy Antoine not knowing what to do, as is made obvious by his funny way of speaking he mentioned, and obviously she used an alias to hide her identity like everyone else does. She's told that she and Pat should go back to square one, earn each other's trust because they need to start communicating. By the way, there's French on this photo. The handwriting is really sloppy, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it seems to mean, I will always love my beautiful flower for always. But it's kind of hard to make out the third word in the sentence because it's so sloppily written. She needs to tell him exactly how she feels, be blunt until he talks. Then we get another letter talking about Mina's feelings about Sonic and how she's not sure if she's outright in love with Ash. This whole love letter story feels like such a waste of time. She's given advice that she should save with Ash just in case, and she decides to call him and throw a picture of Sonic in the trash. It really is a shame things had to work out this way just because Sonic and Sally are the official couple. When with Mina having super speed and a similar personality to Sonic, logically she should have been the ideal mate for him. But no. And then we see Amy's letter about her own troubles, where she complains that she's always ignored by Sonic, and people say it would somehow never work out between her and Sonic because somehow they're too different, despite having almost the exact same cheery and gutsy personality. And Amy proves she's not mature by refusing to read the rest of the answer she's given about how she just has a simple crush. To be fair though, the message doesn't seem like it really has good advice for her and it's just meandering. Then for absolutely no reason, Amy somehow notices Sally's letter in the column based on her letter being too obvious with her descriptions, as plenty of women seem to figure out this from her. The advice simply explains that she's being overbearing, and they do indeed need some time apart. The first story was by Ken Penders, and as Sonic go back in time, and Lara seemed to have vanished before Sonic had gotten the chance to do anything to make Lara vanish, while the time machine was malfunctioning arbitrarily. And just when I was invested in what was going to happen finally, the story cuts off forever, and the second story begins, leaving with almost nothing to say about the first one, other than that damn cliffhanger. The second story is by Roby Chacon, and involves basically an explanation to the audience on how the various girls feel regarding their love life, thanks to a romance advice column, and it feels completely pointless. Sally's supposed to be the careful, cautious, to the point of paranoia one, so it feels really stupid for her to make such an obvious letter, so clumsily failing to mask who she is. At least it proves she can make mistakes, regardless of what some people might think. The biggest problem, and only standout moment, is that Amy somehow noticed Sally's part of the column when she threw it in the trash and walked away, when I thought she was going to continue walking away and not even notice it. So the fact that she did was arbitrary.